From the sixth season of American Idol, we have as our guest here in the studios with us, Mr. Sean Michel, all the way from Bryan, Arkansas.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the town, Sean. Man, what was it like? Obviously, you came at him from a different direction. You're a Christian singer.
Yeah.
And a different style, different tune.
Well, I mean, it was kind of interesting because the first tryout that I went to was actually in Memphis at the FedEx Forum.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember clearly, like, the first day, actually, I don't even watch the show. I just went to go visit some friends that I hadn't seen for a long time.
Okay.
That was trying out. And I ended up, if I was going to hang out with them, I had to, like, sit through the whole line. And then I ended up trying out. And I've been playing in a band previously before that for, like, 4 years and singing and playing guitar and everything. But anyway, the first thing that they said when they walked into Memphis, on the microphone, there was like 16 to 18,000 people there in the FedEx Forum, and the first thing they said was, "I know we're in Memphis, but we don't want to hear any gospel music." They didn't say we don't want to hear country, we don't want to hear rap. They just said we don't want to hear any gospel music, and that kind of put me back. I was like, what? And I was kind of offended. Not that I was necessarily going to sing. My first tryout, I actually started with a different song. I did the Jeffersons theme song.
Okay.
And so, but for me, I was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of set me off a little bit. And little did I know that a month later, in front of the real judges, I'd actually be singing a gospel song. And so that's just kind of where the Lord led me to go. And I'm thankful, for that. So,
what song did you finally sing that first time?
Well, the first time I sang the Jeffersons theme song, and I sang this old, it was a silly song, but anyway, and then I ended up doing God's Gonna Cut You Down, and then when I went to Hollywood, I did a Johnny Cash tune, and then I went to one other round, and then got cut just before the live show, so, but it was an interesting experience, to say the least.
So how has your life really changed?
Well, since then, I mean, it's crazy the way the Lord, I mean, like I said, I was in a band for 4 years before that, and we had been in ministry. We always traveled around the U.S., and we play in bars, we play in churches, we play everywhere just to share the gospel, and we never watered down the message when we go to the bars or whatever. And but anyway, the American Idol thing was really cool because my focus was real limited at the time. I was like, when I prayed, I was like, Lord, help me to be a witness to Randy, Paul, and Simon. And I had no idea that the Lord was going to use it in such a big way to where 2 years later, I'd be touring in India and Nepal, sharing the gospel, and I'd be touring in Chile. Just a few months ago, I was in Chile last year, and the Lord just used that to open up doors. I mean, I'd go to India, and it was just easy to play anywhere because, you just tell them, like, hey, he was on American Idol, and they look it up on YouTube, and they're like, oh, they love American Idol. So it was just a lot easier to get to have chances to play and share the gospel around the world. So, and we're hoping, the Lord continues to use that short little clip just to kind of open doors, and you never know what the Lord's going to do. He uses funny things sometimes. So.
And, you share with us your experiences, as yours is not what we call a regular or standard way of ministering. When you say going in bars, different things, most Christians don't even want to go in bars. Do you get much opposition to that? Or what?
Man, the Lord's just given us favor in a lot of places. And I mean, as long as we focus on trying to make the music as good as it can be, and to where it'll connect with people. And then whether you share about whether they believe in Jesus or not, they respect the music, and I think they respect people's heart. If they know that you're real on stage and they know that you really care about them, they really don't care what you're singing about. I mean, they might not, at the end of the day, believe what you're saying, but it'll plant those seeds. And so the Lord's still dealing with us about how we go about our ministry and how we take the Great Commission into these places. And lately He's been revealing to us how to do that with the church, not just being this maverick band trying to go out and change the world on our own, but the Lord has always used the body of Christ and will always use the body of Christ to change the world. And so how can we as a rock and roll band connect more with the local body and even challenge the local body to go into these dark places with us? Whatever town we go into, how can we hook up with local churches and say, hey, we're about to play at this bar in your area, and we want you to bring your friends that are lost or whatever, or just come and be a presence there. And so, it's really cool to see how the Lord's working that out right now. So,
So do you have a website, or how can we get in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook, Sean Michel, SeanMichel. There's also SeanMichel.com.
Then YouTube, they can go to YouTube.
Yeah, just type in YouTube, and you can find me. I'm the one with the big, huge beard and long hair. I kind of stick out. So just look for the terrorist. And
you as you go and perform and you tour, one of the things, being a Christian group, you also have to be good at what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And how often do you practice, rehearse? Do you do what you do?
Man, it's all the time. It never stops. I mean, even recently we got a guy kind of, we're always kind of fluctuating as far as band members, and recently a new guy's kind of joined up to help us with drums, and I mean, goodness, I've been last week and this week every single day for at least 3 hours, just practicing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly right. I mean, you got to be, excellent in what you do, and above reproach, and in a way to where they'll respect you. I mean, they're not going to respect you if you get up there and you don't sound good and
Right.
professional.
Right.
And so, that's what we strive to do, and so that way the message will be easier to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
The better you are on the stage,
yeah.
and so. I enjoy it, man. It's not necessarily work for us, because we enjoy doing it. But it is work at the same time, because you got to be the best you can be.
Well, if you had a wish, 3 wishes that you knew would come true, what would they be? 3 wishes.
Wow.
It could be for yourself, for your group, for whatever. But these are 3 things that come from your heart that you would like to see happen.
Man, I'd like to see us on just a consistent basis, have a set band that's ready to go all the time, and just anywhere we need to go. And it's just a lot of it's just living by faith, as far as where we're going, who we're going to be with, and how the Lord's going to provide. Because a lot of times you never know where the money's going to come from, or this or that. Man, I'd also wish at some point, to have a good producer work with us, and get a full-length album out that we're really like, yeah, this is who we are. This is the sound we're going for. This is where we're at. We're still kind of working through all that, and man, I'd also like to, I don't know, it'd be nice one of these days to just keep going around the world and sharing the gospel wherever the Lord opens up doors. I mean, we have kind of talks right now, maybe going to Eastern Europe and praying through that, and just wherever the Lord takes us, I hope and that we'll be ready wherever we need to go. So
sound like you've been to some interesting places, though. Nepal, Chile, different places like that. I mean, many of us have never even set foot on those shores.
It's interesting, man. And the thing is to encourage people out there, a lot of it's just being willing to just tell the Lord, I'm available. Use me. And when I was 13 or 14, I was at a Christian summer camp, and this preacher got up and showed this big map of the world, and he showed us this thing called the 1040 window, which is where the most concentrated people lostness in the planet, and it was over North Africa and India and China, and he just challenged, like, who will go there. And when I was 14 in my seat, I feel like I told the Lord, I was like, I'll go do that. And I didn't necessarily knew what that meant or how that would look, but just, I think, the willingness to say, Lord, if you want me to go, I want to go. And I had no idea that, 10, 12, 15 years later, I'd be going over there with a band. I'd be going over there, I had no idea, I'd be in Sudan. I was in Sudan in 2005, and the Lord allowed me during Ramadan, during the holy month of Islam, he would put me on a stage with an Islamic band playing in front of 3,000 Muslims about Jesus' forgiveness. I mean, I had no idea, that stuff would take place. And that's just saying, being available, like, Lord, I want to be your instrument, and help me to do that in the right way. So,
and with all of those Muslims, were you a little nervous?
Yeah, it was interesting because
you're a Christian group.
Well, yeah, and the band was super cool. I mean, they just really loved the passion that I had and everything, and so they were cool with backing me up. And it was funny because during one of the songs, it was real like upbeat, and I'm going at it on the guitar, and this old guy just walks up on stage, and he's walking like at me. And I'm like, this is it, man. I'm going out. This is my last song. I'm in the glory. I had no idea what was about to go on. And he just stood beside me, man. He started stomping his feet and like snapping his hand like this in front of me. And I just kept rocking with the song. And then later, some guys came up to me. He's like, no, that's a good thing. Like here in our country, like during weddings and stuff, and it's a good thing they stomp and do like that. And I was just like, oh, goodness. And I had an interesting thing like that in India, too.
Oh, man.
I was on the street playing, and there was a kind of a group of drunk guys, and man, I was singing the same song, I think, and they were kind of heckling me, and they were crowding me. There was like 30, 40 people, and they kept crowding me. And I heard in India they had this like big deal with like mob mentality, and they just like to beat people up sometimes. So I'm just like, Lord, this is it. I'm going out. I mean, so I guess I'm going out singing for you, and you know, it worked out. He kept me safe, but you know, you never know what you're going to come across. So.
Now, are you journaling all these different experiences? Because I see a book.
I've actually thought about that. My friend and I, who Jay, who helps me, who manages our band and stuff, we talked about maybe one of these days. That's maybe another wish, man. I wish we could put all this stuff in a book and encourage people, because there's a lot of stories that come from just traveling everywhere.
Especially the places that you go to, those places that normally people don't go to. Sound like and you know, to experience all of that, and you in a rock band playing Christian rock for the Lord, and you know, I could just almost hear you group up on stage in at that Muslim Ramadan, and boy, you singing a song and Jesus come out. Oh man.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the crowd was into it. I mean, they were digging in.
Maybe they were so into it they didn't hear what you were saying.
Exactly. Well, and the crazy thing was, I had a good friend actually go over there as a missionary, probably about 2 years later, and he ran into a guy at a cafe, and they began to talk, and he said, "Yeah, I had a friend come over here a couple of years ago," and he's like, "Oh, with the beard, I was at the show," and like he was just, God used that little show to help build a connection there for him to minister to that guy. And so, I mean, you never know. And again, that's me going back to saying, you know, I just want to encourage all the believers, you know, out there that are listening, just be available. Ask, you know, a lot of people are like, man, you guys are going to hard places. And I'm like, not really. I mean, you just tell the Lord, you know, I want to do what you want me to do, and if you want me to, wherever you want me to go, and just wait and see what doors He opens up, you know. So that's my encouragement to.
And it sounds like it's been fun too. As you go, particularly when you're doing stuff that you like doing, you're playing music. It may be a hard place to some of us, but to you, God had already made it soft. And as you're doing that and playing your music, man, as we say, you probably was in hog heaven, man.
I mean, He gives you strength. I mean, I'm not going to say that it was all easy, because, you know, hiking around in the Sudanese desert,
that's no fun.
I mean, it's tough.
No fun.
But He gives you the grace and the strength, and like He did Apostle Paul, and you just kind of have to roll with it and just, you know, roll up your sleeves and go at it. So,
how much heat do you take because of your beard, man? Wherever you are.
It depends.
You probably get more heat in Bryan, Arkansas.
Yes,
than you do.
I do. I kind of stick out like a sore thumb right there. So.
He's got a long beard, folks, and like you said, I think opening up, some people say he looked like Osama bin Laden.
No, he's very handsome. He does not look like Osama bin Laden.
I gotta hide these good looks, you know, behind his beard, so I don't get attacked. No, just joking. But yeah. So I mean, it's some places, you know, people are a lot more accepting, you know, because if I'm at a place with a lot of people that have beards, you know, they love me. But but most of the time it's people going, when you gonna shave that beard? So
that's when you go say, next, it's time to do something. Sean, Michel, appreciate you taking time to visit with us today on Talk of the Town.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, where are you going to be at next?
I'm actually this Friday night playing a show at Juanita's. It's a benefit show for sending a mission group to Haiti.
Okay.
So please come out. It's Friday night. It starts at 9 o'clock. Juanita's on Main Street, and there's going to be 3 great bands, and then we're going to bring the heat. So you need to come out. And then some of the proceeds will go towards sending people over there to Haiti. To do relief work. So there's still a lot of relief that needs to go on in those countries. So. Right about that. Friday night, 9 o'clock? Friday night, yes, sir. All right, great. And don't forget the website address again. Yeah, SeanMichel.com, SeanMichel. Okay. And it will lead you to our Facebook. So. All right.
thanks again for coming by and visiting with us. And,
It's been fun.
We're going to take a brief break right here on Talk of the Town with Larry and Arnette. We'll be right back in just a moment.